So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
It's back. Premier League and Aston Villa are back in the house again. This is it's a day that I've been looking forward to since the end of the last season, to be honest with you, because I bloody love doing team sheet tantrums. I don't know what it is. It's just that massive tingle of optimism that something good is going to happen today. And you know, then you revisit it all then around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight when you're going, how the Jesus were we so bad? But that's beside the point. Today's going to be the house of positivity today, because obviously we are playing Aston Villa versus Bournemouth, and first day of the season, and it's hopefully Aston Villa will come out victorious today. We are 9 minutes away from the team sheets, I think. Just checking to make sure that we haven't had a curveball thrown our way. No, nothing announced yet. Paddy, what's the feeling? What way did you wake up last night? Did you sleep last night even?
I had the best sleep last night in, I'd say, about 2 months. I had the bones of 11-hour sleep, so I'm very relaxed and happy today. Even though when the match ends, I have to go to work, but we'll get over that if we get 3 points on the board. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's like Christmas Day. It's like waking up Christmas morning, the season being back, and knowing that there's a bit of structure. We'll see the team at exactly 2 o'clock, unlike the last few weeks. And yeah, Team Sheet Tantrum is back, and looking forward to the season.
Yeah, I think that's very much it. And you know what I'm more so looking forward to as well, Paddy, is that, yeah, we could probably stick a pin in and write in permanent marker if we were doing our teams now. We could probably write 8 to potentially 10 players in permanent marker and get it right. And, you know, over the last couple of years, we've come into the team sheet tantrums and we've always thought this player could play there or whatever. And sometimes we've had curveballs thrown at us. But the sign of a settled team is and a team that's been in the Premier League for 3 years, that's a sign of progress in itself. But the next progress we need to see is winning games like today. Games like today need to be won, because it's all well and good saying it's progress to have a settled team, and the fact that we don't need to keep on churning and keep on moving players on and getting and getting way better in all positions. But it's the thing is now making what we have stick. And that's a big thing, I think, for Steven Gerrard today. You know, funds seem to be there. We're almost breaking even for the last 4 transfer windows, I think it is. We've almost broken even on a spending point. Gerrard, and obviously Gerrard's only been here for the last 2 or for 1.5, because this one isn't over. So he seems to think he can mold this team here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we go with, what today looks like against the Bournemouth team, who are going to be dogged. They're going to be resolute, but you know, they haven't really made a lot of additions to that squad.
Yeah, look, you make a good point about Gerrard. This is his team now. He's put his stamp on it. There's 11 players there, and if he can't trust 11 players, he hasn't done his job right, because we have, what have we got, 25 listed and another 6 waiting in the wings to be shipped out or whatever, something like that. So it's his team. It's time for him to stand up now, and he's shown his teeth this summer, and hopefully the team can show their teeth now and be absolutely relentless today for 90 minutes, and relentless for 90 minutes. And I keep stressing that 90 minutes, because he hasn't got a tune of 90 minutes out of any team since he came in. The best we've probably seen is that 67 minutes against Man City, I'm going to say. 67, could be wrong.
I'd probably say Southampton. I keep on going back to the Southampton game where we absolutely creamed them off the park.
We stopped playing for the last half an hour of that because we were home and dry as well.
We're 4-0 up, yeah. We thought we were home and dry against Man City too, and look how that turned out.
Exactly. So it's a 90-minute game. We need 90-minute players. Well, we don't need 90-minute players. We need 11 players, or 6 players that are capable of going out and playing for 90 minutes, and 5 that we can replace, roll on the guys off the bench. And let's face it, we're going to have a strong enough bench to do so.
I think so too. I saw something there. We're going to have a look at some of the comments there just before we get ready for the team. So if anybody wants to pop in what they think the team is going to be today in the comments, we'll get to it, I'm sure, as we run down through them. Paul Merson for the legend is in straight off the bat with Martinez, Cash, Carlos, Chambers, Dina, Kamara, Luis, McGinn, Bailey, Ings, and Coutinho. For me, Ings is better finisher than Watkins. I think this is Danny's year. I'm seeing, Paddy, that there's hashtag Team Paddy, hashtag Team Ings in a couple of comments down there. It looks like the fact that we're on different sides of the fence here has split and garrisoned some members of our viewership towards one side or the other. But that's all good. That's all good to see. I don't give a shite if we've got, I don't know, some sort of, I don't know if they have to dig up your man from weekend at Burnley's and play him up front as long as he scores goals. I couldn't care less. And for any of you guys that are too young to know what Weekend at Burnley's is, go watch it tonight after the game. It's a bloody good film. And bring a bottle of rum and you'll enjoy it even more. Any other ones there? Yes, great point here from Rob Henry. I've seen a couple of people pop this in the comments. Fulham are proving to Liverpool at the moment that there are no easy matches in the Premier League. And yes, well, I say that just as Darwin Núñez comes off the bench and scores a goal. But it's 1-1 there between Fulham and Liverpool. But there are no easy games in the Premier League. There are no easy matches, specifically on day one. And that's why they call it being cut from the long grass. Bournemouth are definitely in the long grass at the moment. We are heavily expected to beat Bournemouth today. Although I think in some, and once again, do not bet if you're not comfortable with it. Only bet what you can afford. And when the fun stops, stop with regards to betting. But I think some bookmakers still have us at evens money to beat Bournemouth today, even though we're away. You know, you'd have to think that the bookmakers don't trust us to get a result today as well. But I, on the other hand, do. And we'll get to that later on when we're doing our scores. Let's have a little look there. There's another one. Dave says about Fulham as well. Fulham not making it easy for Liverpool as well there. Vinny Kua Gaming has his flag up there in West Cork, somewhere a Villa flag hanging outside his house, so that's always good to see. He sent me a photo.
He sent me a picture of it before we went on air.
Yeah, I saw one too.
Splendid in the sunshine.
Great point here from Emmett as well. Emmett Kieran says, as long as we don't do a Villa and concede in the first 5 minutes, we should be good for a win. I think that is super important. Super important. The fact that we need to be, what am I going to say here? We need to be professional in the first 10, 15 minutes and not take things for granted. Against Bournemouth last time we played them early on in the season, if I'm not mistaken, we played them second game of the season in 2018 or 19, whichever the first year we were back up. And that was the time Douglas Luiz came off the bench and scored the belter. But we were 2-0 down after like 15 minutes or early on in the game. And Bournemouth caught us. Yes, we came back and we owned the game, and Philip Billing should have been sent off after 18 minutes because of all the fouling he did. But still, that's beside the point. We couldn't recoup 2 goals.
And look, it's not going to be raucous here today. It's going to be carnival-like atmosphere. They don't do raucous in Bournemouth because they're too posh. But it'll be carnival atmosphere, and if their players buy into the carnival, then we're in trouble. So it needs to be professional, it needs to be consistent, and it needs to be from the start. It needs to be us on the front foot.
Sean says here he's predicting McGinn to score, or McGinn or McGrath. I don't know which one that is, Mackie. I'm presuming it's going to be McGinn. McGinn to score the first goal of our new season and a surprise goal at some point for a sub. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like if we got a goal from. Well, actually, do you know what? I don't care where the goal comes from. I'll just as easily celebrate it if it's McGinn or if it's Ings or Watkins, because I was going to say I'd like if we got a goal from an unpredictable source, but we've spent the last week and a half or 2 weeks, Paddy, saying our strikers need to score and we need them getting goals. So that would be very U-turning and hypocritical of me to say that. But the first goal, okay, we'll give it to McGinn, but then the strikers need to weigh in and start doing what they're paid to do and put the ball in the back of the net after that, I think for sure. This is, Darren says, one big worry for me today is the physical makeup of Bournemouth's midfield. We could be bullied bad in midfield. They do have the aforementioned Philip Billing, 6'4", 6'5", big gentleman, in there in the middle of midfield. But I suppose it depends on who they're playing there with him. If they go with Jefferson Lerma, who is more of a bulldog inside there, he's not a big tall guy, but he's going to be somebody who's going to get in around your ankles. And then they might go with Lewis Cook in there too. Lewis Cook is definitely not a bully, but he's somebody who can progress the ball forward, and he's kind of the yin to the other two lads, yang. So it'll be just as interesting to see who they play in midfield as to who we play in midfield as well. We're just coming up. I think the team sheets will be announced any minute. They're actually out now. Just let me get them for you. We have it here. We have it here.
I'm happy.
I want to share. You're happy, are you? Ing starts. Yeah. Here we go. Here we have the team. So we've Martinez in goals, Cash, Konza, Diego Carlos, and Dina, McGinn, Kamara, Ramsey, Bailey, Ings, and Coutinho. And lads, this is the last time you're going to see me in a podcast because I couldn't have got it more wrong in any of my predictions, saying that Mings was going to start and Watkins is going to start. Yeah. It's Konza and it's Ings today in. Bailey keeps his position. They're on probably what would be the right-hand side, and I would imagine Coutinho will play on that left side of that front three. But midfield being Kamara, Jacob Ramsey, and McGinn, I don't really think there's any surprises in there. No. But yeah, looking at the subs as well, and it's very difficult to read them white and the black and the blue background. Come on, Villa. We can do better than white on a blue background, please. Thank you very much. But we've got Olsen, Chambers, Mings, Augustinson, Young, Douglas Luiz, Buendia, Watkins, and the new 5-year extended Cameron Archer on the bench. Talk to me, Patrick.
Well, I suppose for me, the biggest shock is at centre half. Is that. And the big question here is it a shock in that he said yesterday that Mings had a bit of a knock? So we can't read too much into that either, because it would be unfair, I believe, to say that he doesn't have any faith in Mings, given that he has had a knock. But other than that, that would be the team that I picked. I think I said Mings played alongside Diego Carlos. But look, that to me, with the exception of maybe Mings for Konza, is our strongest 11 available.
So we've no Sanson, we've no Tim, we've no. What else am I missing? Yeah, go okay. I suppose you could say Ken Kessler Hayden, but I don't think he's going to get in. I think he might be loaned out. Seeing Ashley Young there, to me, makes me think that that there's a potential loan in the offing for him again. That's just like pointless. That's just me spitting stuff now at the moment. But no Tim, no Ken Kessler Hayden, no Sanson is telling. Obviously no Bertie. Anwar El Ghazi played last night. The fact that guys like Tim, Anwar El Ghazi played,
he was there.
Paddy, well, he scored a free kick. Of course, you didn't see that because
nothing happened in the first half because Villa didn't want to show it to me.
Yeah, well, it's probably something to do. I think your credit card bounced or something, Paddy. I think that's what
I counted 28 minutes of the second half without Anwar El Ghazi touching the ball at academy level, and to me, he's out the door as quick as we can pick a fiver.
I think he will be. Yeah, I think he'll be. No, Nakamba. Nakamba's the other guy. Robin mentioned there Nakamba. No Nakamba either. So yeah, for me, I suppose. Look, you'd have to look at the Douglas Luiz is really like I'm going to be really honest. If I see Ashley Young come on in the central midfield today, I won't say kind things on Twitter. I'm genuinely like I'm not like I. Look, it is what it is. It is what it is. If you're going to say that he's our substitute right back at this moment in time, then we've got a whole new back four on the bench, and for me, that's doesn't make any sense having a whole new back four on the bench.
No.
Considering that Callum Chambers was initially brought in to play right back. And okay, that's okay. If you guys want to say that Callum Chambers should specialise in centre half, that's fine too. But as an auxiliary right back, I think that that makes sense. To have somebody who can cover both positions. So for my money, Ashley Young is there to be either a wide player or one of the wide front three or central midfielder. And for me, I'm just not like if he comes on central midfield, there won't be nice things said. And my normal happy disposition that does come out quite regularly.
Yeah. Look, it'll be interesting to see how those 5 subs are used, if they're used, and when they're used. I always felt he was a little bit shy in using them. Maybe when he has 5, he might use them a bit earlier and use them a bit better. So we just got to reserve judgment until we watch a few games. But I'm optimistic. I'm super optimistic looking at that team. I'm happy enough with it. And roll on 3:00.
Well, one thing I've seen an awful lot over the off season, specifically in the last 10 days, and it kind of went under the radar. And we didn't talk about that much. Yes, we kind of spoke an awful lot about Watkins Ings quandary and that they need to pull up their socks. And we spoke about who's going to play centre half. But there was this kind of undercurrent as well about Jacob Ramsey, maybe. And people were saying, oh, he's off form. He doesn't deserve to start. And I'm not sure that's fair to categorize that at him, considering it was preseason and he played more or less straight through the whole lot of the summer. So I'm not really fair that it's fair. I'm not really sure it's fair to categorize him in that way, the way that we have categorized the likes of Tyrone Mings, who spent the whole summer in Bodymore, the likes of Watkins and Ings, that spent the whole summer in Bodymore. As well, or the majority of it anyway. So I think from a Jacob Ramsey point of view, yes, people are saying that he had a poor preseason. I just don't think he didn't. I think he didn't light up any trees, but I think what it was that he was easing himself back and he'd managed minutes. From that point of view, I expect him to have an absolute perler today, like he did for the majority of last season, and I'm looking forward to seeing him grow into what I suppose what we should call is year 2 of being a starter. And Fulham have just scored. Mitrovic again. Another Mitrovic penalty. Fulham have just scored against Liverpool. I was hoping Liverpool would come back and win that game because, dropping points first game of the season.
The league is over.
League is over. Yeah, league is over. And that's, to be honest with you guys, that's an awful problem for the Premier League if that happens. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about.
You're talking about Jacob Ramsey to get you back on the ball. We'll talk about Jacob Ramsey. I'm going to make a bold prediction about Jacob Ramsey. When the internationals roll around in September, I think Jacob Ramsey is going to be all over the news and possibly in that squad to give him a chance to get on that plane to Qatar in November. I think this is a huge 6-7 games for him to force his way into that England squad, and I think he's more than capable of it.
Absolutely. The team is out for Bournemouth. And Bournemouth we're going to try and make sense of this now for a moment. So Travers is in goals. They're going to have Lloyd Kelly and Mepham are probably going to be the two lads at centre half. And then is it Tavernier and Smith, I think, are going to be the two fullbacks, with midfield of Pearson, Billings and Lerma. And then Solanke, Moore and Zamora will probably make up their front three. I think I'm right in saying that's how they're going to line out. But I didn't expect him.
Tavernier will be up there as well, won't he?
No, I think they brought him in to play left back.
Did they?
Yeah.
Where will Zamora play?
Zamora, I think I had him up there on up top. In and around there. I'm not 100% sure with regards to that, but he's a handy player. I think it's interesting that they went with Ben Pearson over Lewis Cook in midfield. Just like because they're very similar players, and I think it's 1 for 1 in that aspect. So somebody that's going to need minding. I thought that they would go with Kiefer Moore up front with Solanke one side of him. I didn't know who they were going to play the other side, considering that they are looking out, or they are looking for a striker. I thought potentially it would have been somebody like your man, I can't remember his surname, Anthony. He's there on the bench, or even Ryan Christie there on the other side. But they've gone with what I think you're going with is Zamora there in that position. So it's going to be interesting to see. Kiefer Moore is going to take minding, and I'll be honest, I would be a lot like with Konza and Douglas Carlos there, and I know that everyone's going to say Carlos will pick him up, and maybe Konza is there to pick up the likes of Solanke, but Kiefer Moore is a handful. He's a battering ram. He's old style, and we don't tend to do well against those battering ram type centre forwards. But then again, we're in the Douglas Carlos era, so it's going to take a lot of watching, I think, from that point of view, for sure. When we do see the game kick off in 51 minutes time. What do you make of it? What do you make of that Bournemouth team? Is there anything there that's kind of jumping out to you, Paddy, from a point of view of? Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a Bournemouth aficionado either, but...
No, well, I did say in our preview that I watched a good bit of them last year because my nephew's friend was playing nearly every game for them. He's since moved on to Stoke, but it's... Look, I think the only surprise is Pearson. I think Pearson would probably play a little bit further. I think we could possibly see a 4-2-3-1 here with Solanke playing behind Moore as opposed to playing beside him. And they just play a little bit more reserved, let's say, and try and catch us on the break. So, look, it's it's what we expected, really. So my opinion doesn't really change. I still think we're going to go and win handy.
2-2 Fulham Liverpool, just for those of you who are keeping score there. Mohamed Salah is just after pinging one in. Darwin Núñez came off the bench, scored a goal, and has set up a goal with Salah. So that bodes well, I think, for that partnership. Guys, do you want to pop in your own thoughts there on the team itself? And let's get back onto some of your comments there. I'm going to remove the Bournemouth team for a moment, and I'm going to start pinging up some of your comments.
While you're doing that, Neil, there's 300 people on the stream there. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And that's my work done for the day.
Excellent. Exactly. Oh, do you know what, lads? I had a banner. Watch this. I had a banner done. I was so sure that I had picked the correct team. I had a banner done with my team. Oh no! Wait a minute. It didn't save. Oh, that's a really old team. Anyway, that's beside the point. Why did that save? Anyway, so some comments coming in there. Villa Bloke 1970 says Diego Carlos masterclass incoming up the Villa. I think I called him Douglas Carlos just 5 minutes ago. I do apologize. But Darren C says, I heard Buendia took a knock yesterday. Buendia takes a knock every time he goes out in the field. It seems he has this most exasperated look when he hits the turf every single time. Where else are we here? Chambers for Mings, Ramsey instead of Louise. The rest picks itself. Oh, that was prior to the team being announced. I apologize there for that one. So there's a lot of people saying that they're surprised by Kanza being in the team. Ad says happy with that, but feel bad for Chambers. Somebody else popped in a comment a moment ago that I mentioned that Chambers took a knock. Actually, I think he took a knock in training prior to the Stade Rennes match, and that he'd only returned back to training midweek this week. Paddy, did you see the new kind of graphic that Villa have that they're sending out with regards to injury updates for the transparency for injuries? Did you see that?
No,
I saw it online
no.
yesterday. Apparently, it's a new thing that they're going to do. They're going to update on injuries so that there's a small bit of transparency with regards to them. I think look, if it works, it works. Simon Watton says Bailey Masterclass is inbound. Andrew Morgan says no Timmer and Nakamba. Yeah, I couldn't remember Nakamba. Nakamba's got no look in. I think if money comes in before now and the end of the transfer window, I think Nakamba might be surplus to requirements because he's got no look in preseason either, provided that he's not been injured or anything like that. I'm not 100% sure. A couple of people saying that Buendia needs to start as well. I think we'll definitely see Buendia off the bench today. Where else are we? We need to fit, but Adam says we need to fit Buendia into this team. I think get a result today first in a game that we should win. And that's not to say that we wouldn't get a result with Buendia there, but when you're talking about fitting people into the team, I think that we get the 3 points on the board today and then see what happens. And look, he could come off the bench and score the winner. So he is that in his arsenal as well there, which is fantastic. Paul Merson, Villa legend, is happy that Ings is starting ahead of Watkins. Paul Merson, Villa legend, yourself and Paddy. I think you've planned this. Where else are we? Cafu, the Brazilian Adam Hutton. What a name. Brilliant name. Says, tough game today. Bournemouth have to win this game. You have to think it's their most winnable game in the next few fixtures that they have. I don't think they have the right to think that they should win any game or that any game is winnable for them because they haven't strengthened the team like they should have. And, there comes a time. Look, I'm not saying that we go out there and we pillory them today, but I think that, that they can't feel hard done by if we win 2-0 today because they haven't strengthened their team to the requisite ability. Like, I don't know if that's they might be really well drilled and Scott Parker might have done a fantastic job with them, but they can't feel that they have the right to go in and win any game because for my money, they're the weakest team on paper. Now, paper never won any game and that's why it's played on grass and all those different similes that you'll hear in different pieces, should I say, that you'll hear in this stuff. But we have to win this game. Bournemouth don't have to win this game at all because I think expectations are low on Bournemouth, but expectations are high in B6. And I think that that's why we absolutely have to win this game today, for sure. Where are we? Connor from Brazil says, great bench. We haven't had that in a long time. Hope Gerrard uses the subs well and at the right time. Paddy, I meant to say it at the start. 5 subs. Do you think he uses them? That should have been my question for the giveaway of the mug is how many subs do you think Gerrard will use? I don't think he uses 5 subs.
I don't either. I just can't see it. I'd imagine if he uses 3, that would probably be it, and then keep the 2 in reserve if we pick up any late injuries. And it's the time of year for people cramping up on 85 minutes or so. So you kind of need to keep a couple in reserve. So I don't think you'd be going gung ho and bringing on 5 subs.
Ross, good to see you. Ross down in South Africa says, told you JJ will start strong squad, nevertheless, no excuses not to grab all 3 points. I think I'm there. I don't think there's any, like, if we don't win today, it's a massive black mark in the copybook first day of the season. I think we need to win. I think that there's no excuse for us not to win today. I'm going to be that. And it's not confidence. I think that's an expectation that this team should have, is to beat Bournemouth today. Now, whether we do or not is a completely different story. But it's not like we're going out against Man City, Liverpool, Man United in the third round of the FA Cup. Third round of the FA Cup, Man United, that is, who always beat us. But I think we're going out against Bournemouth. Yes, granted, it is away and they will be up for it. But this team is World Cup winners in it, and it should be able to win this game. Just from a professional point of view, they should be able to go out there and win this game.
Yeah, I've absolutely no worries. It's up to them now. But like I know it's virtually unknown. We don't know what way. Like, I thought it was very defeatist out of Scott Parker earlier in the week, and I don't know whether that's putting pressure on the owners to try and get the checkbook out or not. But he was playing the poor mouth earlier in the week. So if they're not at full tilt, you're talking about a team coming out of the championship, and we spend so much money, we should be rolling them over them. And I'm not going to accept anything less than 3 points today.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Scott Parker leave Fulham to go to Bournemouth because they had a wedge last season?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, this isn't the Bournemouth. I know we're playing Bournemouth, but I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't know an awful lot about Bournemouth at the moment. As I said, they're a different Bournemouth team, they're a different Bournemouth setup and everything since I think they might even have new owners even since they were relegated. So I can't speak very well on that at all, and I should have done my homework a small bit better. But anyway. Where are we there? Where are we? 100 cap for Kanza today, and I think I saw that AVFC Stato is with us as well. Thank you so much. I saw you had it up there, but I forgot to click on it earlier on. Stato, thanks for joining us, and thanks as well, Robin Finnerty, for that too. Where are we? So Nigel Franklin says I would have gone for Kanza, the best defender of the 3 with most potential. Yeah, I think that's debatable, but I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that's the beauty of having 3 very good defenders in Mings, Kanza, and Chambers. You know, superb problem to have, brilliant problem to have. That we can call upon left footers, right footers, and whatever needs to be done inside there, and we can have a we can have a backup and a fluidity towards that back line as well. I think for sure. Look, lads, this is going to have to be banned. This hashtag Team Paddy is going to have to be banned. Lee Johnson says, I thought he'd pick Watkins, but weren't happy with Ings, who's his preferred choice. Where else are we? Yeah, I agree with Connor here as well. Connor says there's 316 watching. Hit the like button, villains. Please do. If you can just hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, we'd really, really appreciate that. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, but it is really, really helpful to the podcast. Definitely more viewers than Irish TV. Oh, 100. I can guarantee you there isn't 322 people watching the Irish language channel called Tina G at this very moment in time. I can almost guarantee it that there isn't 325 people now watching that. I love this site. And this should actually just be tattooed on every single player's eyelids so that when they close their eyes, they see it. Be professional, boss the ball, no lapses at the back, especially early on, and win convincingly. I think that's exactly should be the team talk today. Don't fuck up, essentially, is like, because the amount of times we make it easy for teams by our mispositioning, not controlling the ball correctly, being scared at times to do the right thing is criminal. It's criminal sometimes, and we don't need that away in the Vitality today against Bournemouth.
No.
Okay, lads, we're getting there. We're getting up in a half an hour. Get your comments in with what you think the score is going to be. We're going to do the quick fire. It's been 2 months since I've done the quick fire and that. So please get those in. We have an early one in here already that Vivish has already got AVFC 6-0 winners today. So I'm loving that. I'm absolutely loving that. But get your comments in there with regards to what you think it's going to be. Darren C is in with 3-1 to Villa. Jonathan says the Fla Kjol is on TG Carr. Actually, there could be more than 325 people watching the Fla, because the Fla is great crack. And I'll be honest with you, if Villa weren't playing, I'd be making my way to Mullingar to the Fla, because it's absolutely great crack. It's an Irish music festival whereby it's all diddly-eye kind of like accordions and stuff music, but it's rare crack, and there's no such thing as closing time. Right, we've got loads of stuff in here. So we have oh, Supermark said this, that anyone who doesn't hit the like button is a total blue nose. That's one way to do it, Soupy. That's one way to do it. All right, here we go. Mark Hattersley says 1-0 Villa. Connor Hennessy 2-0 Villa. Western Wood says 2-0 Villa. C Line says 3-1 to Villa. Daniel Suddle says 3-1 to Villa. Tom Ryan 2-0 up to Villa. 3 or 4-0 to Sai says, and I know that Sai means to the Villa in that one. Nigel says 2-1 Villa. Paul Merson says 1-3 in Villa's favour. 2-1 says Owen Bradley in Villa's favour. 2-0 Music Junkie says in Villa's favour. 4-0 Dodgy Drivers says. 3-1 Villa Block. Ings with 2 and Ings with 2 and a Carlos goal. Ad says 4-0. Mighty Villa says 4-0 to Villa. Dico Blanco says 3-0 to Villa. Mark Brannigan says 3-0 to Villa. Matt Walton says 4-0 to Villa. Rob Henry says 3-1 Villa. Matthew Lang says 1-0 to Villa. Mike Reen says 3-1 Villa. Ings, Ramsey and Cash. That's a nice spread of goals. I love a good spread of goals like that. Adrian McKeever says Villa win 4-1. Dodgy Drivers, Bailey hat-trick. Jordy Villa goals for Ings, Watkins and Archer. Bailey to hit the crossbar. And 3-0 Villa score. I presume it's a 3-0 Villa scoreline. I wonder what odds they'd give you on Bailey to hit the crossbar along with all that. I'd say you'd be, your fur coat and your crown would be in the post, I would say, if that was to happen. Linky says 4-1 Villa with Ings, Bailey score 2 and Archer to come off the bench. Tom says Ezri Konza. Remember Watford, this will be very tight. 1-1 says Brett River, but exactly. Beware the odds of Watford from last season too. Mark Mitchell says I hate being so optimistic. It's the total. It's yeah. It doesn't suit us Villa fans being optimistic, does it? No. But we have to be optimistic at some stage. Hippo 84 says 3-0 Villa. The clean sheet is important. Michael Giles says 4-2 Villa. Tom says 6-0 Villa. 2-0 Villa says Billy Jones. 4-0 Matt Walton says with a Martinez hat trick. That would be some job. Lewis Spriggs says 3-1 Villa. Kashki scores today, says Sai. Bailey, Ings and Coutinho in a 3-1 win. 2-0 Villa, says Lee Smith. KFWH and underscores and X's says 5-0 Villa with Konza Bundia, Leon Bailey, Jacob Ramsey and Matty Cash. 3-0 all day. Says James. Tim Mosley says 4-1. Let's hope. Don't pan Team Paddy. It's the only thing I've ever started in my 37 years. I needed this. So it's all your fault, Stephen, right? Nicholas Haynes says 2-0 Villa. Come on. Damien Leach says they'll score first from a corner and we'll come back as a 2-1. Nigel asks, is Kiefer Moore starting for them? He is indeed. And then he also goes on to say that Carlos will damage him. The word damage is very very final there, isn't it? Cat Cannon says 2-0 Villa. The MacB says 3-1 up the Villa. Simon Watton says 2-0 Villa with Ings and Bailey. Shabba. 2-1 Villa, says Stephen Wright. Top of the league, end of this weekend, says Sai. Love Bleed says 2-1 to Villa. Robin Finnerty says Bournemouth 0 Villa 2 with Bailey and Bundia scoring. Where are we now? Playlist says 2-0 Villa. Richard says 2-0 Villa. Mike Warmball says a Shane Duffy sighting. He must have come on. The Messi of the skies, by the way.
Yes, he's on. Just come on for Bobby Reid.
2-0 Villa, says Michael Richards. And Slancha, I think that is a 70-0 Villa. You're back in mid-season form. Because you used to always come up with those crazy scorelines last season, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Lange says 4-0 Villa. And I think that's going to do it, lads. That is amazing. We still have 302 people putting up with us after that rundown of the scores, and I really appreciate absolutely every single one of you. I personally think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Aston Villa today. Paddy, what's your score?
As usual, first match of the season, I'm overly optimistic and I am going with a Danny Ings hat-trick and 4-0 Villa.
4-0 Villa.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that one. The Danny Ings hat trick. All right, we'll give you that one too. But it is 36 minutes to kick off. We've been on for 34 minutes here, and I do appreciate absolutely every single one of you. For those of you who've just joined, if you could hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't subscribed, you can click on the subscribe button as well. It doesn't cost you anything. We would love to have you on board for more of these as the league season goes on. One thing I will plug, guys, before we do go is. We do have I thought my child was after waking up, but it's somebody else's child that's crying. That's fine. So we have some, where's it gone to? We have some mugs. We're doing a giveaway, and I'm just trying to bring it up here on the screen. We're doing a little giveaway here, guys. In light of our new collaboration with Northern Ireland Mugs, we're giving away a mug to one lucky winner. And apologies for anybody who is outside of the continent of Europe, yes, including the UK. Just with regards to shipping constraints on mugs and the fact that they get broken and the insurance, the couriers don't want to insure them being shipped outside of Europe for whatever reason at the moment. I don't know. This is news to me as well, but look, as I say, we'd like to run a competition and give away a mug to somebody. If you can find the tweet on our website, it is there. Just like it, retweet it, and comment underneath who you think is going to be the first scorer, and we will pick a winner on Monday of the mug, and we'll get that winging its way to you. As I say, apologies, we can only give it away in Europe at the moment, because couriers won't ship ceramics at this moment in time for whatever reason, as I say, outside of Europe. Just that's what we've been told. So I do apologize about that. Also, if you want to buy one, they are available you'll be able to catch it on our pinned tweet here with my ugly mug there. Look, 2 Neils. 2 for 1. Aren't you lucky people? You'll be able to catch it there. There is a link there if you do wish to purchase a mug as well. You can do so there from the Northern Ireland Mug Company. So that's going to do it for us there, everybody. Really appreciate everything. 295 people still here. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I thank you so much. 34 minutes to kick off. Get your beverages, get your snacks, get everything on board, get everything ready. First game of the season. And sit down and hopefully relax watching a Villa Masterclass today away and get our first win on the board. So thanks very much, everybody, for everything you do for the podcast. Thanks a million, Paddy, for your time as well. I am going to be back with a post-match directly after this game at 4:55. Maybe 5 o'clock, no later than 5 o'clock. I'll be back with a post-match to discuss this directly after the game. So I would love if you could join us then. Until then, everybody enjoy the game. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.